Last call, please find your seats and we'll get started. If we run late, everybody's going to look at you and want to know why we are running late. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. You can redeem your drink tickets afterwards too, I believe. Can you confirm that? No, you cannot. So if you missed out, I'm sorry. The bar is open the entire time though, but trust me, you're going to want to stay in your seats. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Corbu Status. Hopefully you've all heard us on the radio. Myself and Io Idowu, we handle football broadcasts. I also do men's basketball. And I also do the Tommie Talks podcast, which I know everybody here has subscribed to and is given 5 stars. Right? I heard like 3 rounds of applause. So everybody go out and subscribe and give us 5 stars, please. On behalf of the University of St. Thomas and the Department of Intercollegiate Athletics, welcome to the 2022 induction ceremony for the Athletic Hall of Fame. We've got a great ceremony tonight. Everybody's hungry. I know that for a fact. We need to soak up all the alcohol a little bit as well. Not speaking for myself here, as far as you know. Let's go ahead and have the invocation if Father Lawrence Blake would come up to the stand, please.
Well, we've been blessed with such a beautiful evening, haven't we? It's amazing to be able to gather together tonight and to see so many here on campus welcoming our inductees for this Hall of Fame. I'd like to ask you to join me in this prayer as we ask God's blessing on this evening. Good and gracious God, through our participation in sports, we learn teamwork, we learn physical and mental discipline, we learn how to give 100%, and then when we need to give even more as we meet the competition. Oh God, we praise and thank you that these are lessons not just for the time that we participate as athletes, but these are lessons for life. How to be good team members, how to discipline ourselves, how to give 110%. So tonight, we thank you, and we ask your blessing upon this year's group of inductees. They distinguished themselves during their years of competition here at the University of St. Thomas, and they've distinguished themselves throughout life. And now we ask you to bless this food and those who have prepared it, and God, keep us mindful of the many who do not have what we have, and may we help in any way we can. We ask all of these things in your most holy and mighty name. Amen.
Good evening. I'm going to interrupt this program. I'm Phil Eston, the Director of Athletics. And something that I wanted to share about Father Blake real quick. Father Blake is omnipresent on campus. No matter where you turn, you see Father Blake walking around on campus. When I'm coming into the office in the morning, whether it's 7 or 7:15 or whatever, Father Blake is walking out of the ark because he was there working out. When we go to an athletic event, Father Blake is there. Basketball, swimming, soccer, our coaches and student athletes in the room know that they see Father Blake everywhere. And so there's 2 things that we all know about Father Blake. Number 1, whenever you see him, he's wearing his purple shoes. Right? Everybody knows that he's wearing his purple shoes. And secondly, he is at every single athletic event. Well, a little birdie told me that he wore out his purple shoes. And he needs a new pair of purple shoes. So we've got a pair of brand new Nikes for Father Blake. He's got new purple shoes. And an all-access credential to get him in every single event. Father Blake, thank you.
What does it mean to be a Tommie? To me, what it means to be a Tommie isn't necessarily the outcomes that we see on the big stage or under the bright lights, but it's all the little things that have to happen in order for those outcomes to occur. The true measure of character and integrity isn't necessarily what you do when everybody's watching, but rather doing the right thing when nobody's watching. We see that on display with our student athletes everywhere that I look, in competition, in the classroom, on campus, in our community. So again, the measure of true character and integrity is doing all the little things in preparation for what happens when everybody's watching. To me, that's what it means to be a Tommie.
All right, everybody, please continue to eat. And those of you who haven't gotten your dinner, it's nothing personal, as far as you know. We're going to have dessert. Nobody touched my dessert either at this table. I'm looking at you, Phil. Nice job on the video, though, by the way. We are here, so pleased that you are here to celebrate with us at the induction, the University of St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2022. As we just heard, go ahead. Yes, please. Thank you. As we just heard from Phil, we're here to honor those who have embodied all of those little things that he talked about. Managing a complicated schedule, listening to coaches' feedback, which is always easy, right? Players? Yeah, coaches, they always say the best things. Staying for that extra practice time, trying again and again and again, and sometimes again and again. And lo and behold, all of those little things turned into very big accomplishments. And let's remember that those student athletes did all of those things while still getting their degrees. We're going to hear a ton of dizzying numbers tonight, and we're going to celebrate these athletes, coaches, and teams that pursued and achieved excellence. So besides being joined by our newest inductees and their families and friends, we have several other special guests here as well. We'd like to recognize the current members of the Hall of Fame. If you're a current member, please go ahead and stand up. We'd also like to recognize the current coaches. Coaches, will you please stand up? I know there's more coaches than that out there. Some of y'all didn't stand up, and y'all don't take direction very well. Just remember that. Okay. Now a little bit about the Hall of Fame. It was founded in 1974. The University of St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame recognizes and honors those individuals who have distinguished themselves and the university through their athletic participation and have contributed in a significant way to the vision and the mission of the university. Throughout the years, our new inductees, current Hall of Fame members, coaches, and athletic staff have pushed the limits to accomplish amazing things and built the St. Thomas Athletic Program into what it is today. The groundwork laid by these amazing men and women have resulted in national team titles, national individual champions, and countless university awards. Some awards that the university didn't even know it still had. Didn't the MIAC ask for an award back at some point? Like, we had that? I think we got it back to them, though. In the past, Tommie Athletics inducted a new class every 3 years, but as a Division I institution, we're going to start doing this every single year. Now, this year we induct 2 coaches, 6 alumni, and 1 team. The new inductees represent 9 of the 21 St. Thomas varsity sports. Each inductee will receive a personalized Athletic Hall of Fame award with their name. Make sure you grab your right one, induction year, and sport or title. So let's get to it. Let's start with the class of 2022. First up, Tom Hodgson, men's and women's swimming and diving coach. Joining coach to present the award is Joanne Andretta, retired Tommie athletic administrator and member of the 2016 Hall of Fame class. You guys making your way up? I took off my glasses so I can't tell. Okay, Tom Hodgson retired in May 2014 after a 35-year run directing the Tommie swim and diver programs. Hired in 1979 to coach the women's swim team, he added the men's team to his head coach responsibilities a year later. Tom also taught as an adjunct instructor in the Department of Health and Human Performance. Get comfortable, this is really long. This is page 1, yeah, I know. You want to pull up a seat, Tom? Okay. For most of his career, he recruited teams to and coached in the 5-lane O'Shaughnessy Natatorium, a facility that opened in 1940. Despite that pool's limitations, he coached more than 100 MIAC champions and produced 46 All-Americans. With the 2010 opening of the new Anderson Aquatic Center, the facility that he had extensive input in the pool design, St. Thomas swim dive program surged. The men's team won 2 of the next 4 MIAC championships, and his final women's teams built the foundation for multiple MIAC titles after he retired. I told you there's more. Tom Hodgson received 7 MIAC Coach of the Year awards since the award was created in 2002 until his 2014 retirement. His athletes received multiple COSIDA Academic All-American honors, were consistently among the CSCAA Scholar All-American teams, and built a proud community and campus service tradition, including its annual food shelf donation and active participation in the Ted Mullen Hour of Power fundraisers for cancer research. And of course, Tom Hodgson impacted the lives of the many men and women he coached throughout the years. His teams were known for their culture and family identity, a term coined by the student athletes after he initiated co-ed practices in January of 1981. A part of this family is here tonight to celebrate his accomplishments. Please join me in congratulating Coach Hodgson on his induction into the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
It is my honor and personal pleasure tonight to induct Tom into the 2022 St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame. I worked with Tom for 35 years in the athletic department, and I was always impressed with his commitment to his athletes, making sure that family was first among them and that they all turned out to be excellent citizens. So this award, I'm so happy to present to Tom.
Hope you got my good side. I am deeply grateful, obviously, but I can't accept this alone. I can accept it on behalf of the 1,500 or so swimmers and divers with whom I have shared this journey since the fall of 1979. So many people made this possible. My terrific athletic directors, Frank Mock and Steve Fritz, my dear friend, who you just met, Joanne Andretta, who worked miracles with the budget to keep us competitive, but also provided wise sounding board and great friendship throughout those years. There are so many unsung heroes, too. The collegiality of my fellow coaches, many of whom are here tonight. Boy, those were great years, working with you all, enjoying your successes, sharing with you a little of mine. What a pleasure to work with you, men and women. Our facilities wizard, Dave Lepp, our CFO, Mark Vangsgaard, whose support for our national class pool almost made up for those 30 years at O'Shaughnessy Natatorium, which we called the Palace Clubhouse for obvious reasons. and literally decades of dedicated and underpaid assistant coaches and diving coaches, a couple of whom are here tonight, Tim Corbett, Beth Peterson. Honored that you would be here to share this with me. And then there's the dedication of my swimmers. We trained for 31 of 35 years at O'Shaughnessy Natatorium. The divers actually had to travel to different pools to train. This meant 2 shifts of swimmers when our team was up in the 50s and 60s. 6 or more to a lane. 3 to 5, a practice from 3 to 5, another one from 5 to 7. And that's many others came to a 6:30 morning practice. You can just imagine what time the alarm goes off to be on the deck at 6:30. I don't know how they did it, honestly. When I swim, I don't like sharing a lane with even one person. And all of that sacrifice and unselfishness and cooperation also created a real sense of family. And yet, so many, despite those training difficulties and the challenges, so many earned conference championships, were named All-Americans, achieved lifetime best swims, still managed to be perennial academic All-Americans, and win a couple of national awards for community service. That community service continues on even now. I have to tell you a quick little story about a little Facebook fundraiser that I participated in over the last couple of years. The deal was you swim 15 miles and you raise $300 and you get a t-shirt. Well, I swim a couple thousand yards every day. I thought, I can do this. I'll donate the first 100 and shame somebody into donating another 150 or 200, and I got my t-shirt. Well, the swimming alumni jumped all over this, and we were the #1 fundraiser in the country for the last 2 consecutive years, thanks to our alums, Mary, and all of your teammates out there who have been so generous. It makes me incredibly proud of what that tells me about you swimming and diving alums. It's humbling, and thank you. That's for you, kids. All I did was swim and throw my picture up on Facebook a couple times. I'm surprised I didn't get frozen out, or whatever the Facebook term is when you get thrown in Facebook jail. There were some pretty ugly pictures. But on a personal level, this is so deeply satisfying to think that I might have made a difference in a handful of lives, to know that the swimmers and divers now have children of their own that are enjoying this great sport, and what a great joy it was when those first children, daughters of alums, came back and swam for me toward the end of my career. Very, very meaningful and touching. One of my great pleasures in life now is sitting over coffee on Friday morning or Sunday morning and looking back through the swimming results and seeing how the kids of my kids, my grandchildren, are doing in the water the night before. And of course, I'll be forever grateful for my late wife Michelle's presence. Excuse me. For 27 years as team mom, she hosted our fall welcoming parties, our Christmas party, welcomed many a homesick swimmer into our home for dinner, kept a massive spreadsheet of our alumni. Every holiday season, she'd host half a dozen Cookie Monsters who would come out to the house and bake hundreds and hundreds of cookies for the Christmas party, all of which were gone before the kids left. We were a better family because of her kindness and generosity and love. And I'm so grateful for this recognition. More importantly, I'm grateful for the chance to work with so many dedicated and generous individuals for so many years. My life is richer for that, and right now my heart is filled to overflowing. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
All right, be honest, how many of you looked up his Facebook profile after you said that? Somebody did, I know it. Up next, we'd like to recognize head soccer coach Denzil Liu. Current head soccer coach John Lowry joins Denzil on the stage to present the award. A pioneer and a trailblazer, Denzil Liu was there from the very beginning of St. Thomas men's soccer. The young man from Jamaica came to study chemistry in the classroom, but he ended up building the chemistry on the field over many seasons in his roles as a player, assistant coach, and head coach. He served as the first black head coach in St. Thomas athletics history, and in his 23-year run as head coach from 1979 to 2001, he built a deep resume as he guided the Tommies to a 242, 140, and 46 record, and was twice voted MIAC Coach of the Year. His teams won 4 MIAC championships and claimed 4 NCAA tournament berths. His 1985 team had an unbeaten regular season. He had 9 players make NCAA All-Region, and 4 times a Tommie was chosen MIAC Player of the Year. He coached 2 of the first 5 soccer players in conference history to become 4-time All-MIAC honorees. Denzil was inducted into Jamaica's Soccer Hall of Fame for his national team experience and for coaching Jamaica's 19 and under national team. He also was inducted into the Minnesota Soccer Hall of Fame. Beyond his list of on-field achievements, his influence was evident with so many players who went on to teach the game of soccer to the next generation of players. Please join me in congratulating Coach Liu on his induction into the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'm not as eloquent as your previous speaker. I'm going to make this real short. It was a privilege for me to be here at St. Thomas when I came. I went back home and then I came back. And when I found out that this soccer program wasn't doing any good, I came over to help Coach Flood. And that's how it started. But I couldn't have done anything without the players that I got. And you can see from the turnout of those players, there's quite a lot of them that are here, and it couldn't have been done without them. Thank you very much for all that, and I really appreciate the honor tonight. I am going to make this very short. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna jump in here as the current head coach, and one thing that's really special about this is it was already mentioned that Denzil's influence on young people in the game, and I'm literally one of them. When I was 13, 14, 15, Michael's here tonight. Michael and I were teammates, and I was just a kid in love with the game. And when I met Denzil, this guy from Jamaica telling me these global stories about his playing career, and it just literally a spark became a fire. And to be the current head coach and to be honoring you is an honor of mine, Denzil. So lastly, you need your award. And before we get to that, Jeff, you and your teammates, bring them all. Guys, this group of guys over here, one thing you ask for as a coach, and one of the most rewarding things in education is when you get to see that light in the eye, and when you get to see that mentorship come to fruition, and you get to see what it's like. So I think it would be completely appropriate for these guys to give Denzil his award. Come on up. Thanks, John. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, great job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Mr. Liu, why you do that? Your first captain, man. Your first captain.
Hey, one last time for Denzil Liu. Thank you.
That was pretty cool. Okay. First athlete, individual athlete we'd like to honor this evening is Andretta Anna K. Colley, class of 2005. Recently retired women's cross country and track and field head coach Joe Sweeney, Hall of Fame class of 1992, will present the award. Born and raised in Jamaica, Andretta was a foreign exchange student at Benilde St. Margaret's High School and won the conference long jump championship as a junior. At St. Thomas, Andretta won the NCAA Outdoor Long Jump Championship as a senior and as the number 7 seed, jumping 19 feet 5 1/4 inches. Is that right? Yeah, I knew you would know it. At that time, the mark was number 2 all-time in conference history. Andretta won the school's 50th individual NCAA title. She placed 4th at the NCAA indoor meet in the long jump for her first career All-American honor. A 3-time NCAA championships qualifier, Andretta also competed at the Nationals in the 4x100 relay and triple jump. Please join me in congratulating Andretta on her induction into the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
When I coached track and cross country, before our indoor and outdoor championships, we always had a our pre-conference meeting, and I remember very vividly. You know, I mean, as a coach, you want to be prepared. We're trying to win a conference championship here. This is really important, and we weren't the kind of team that had a lot of meetings. So when we had a meeting, it was, you know, definitely everyone was there and everyone was listening to what I had to say. And before this conference championship, I believe it was one of the indoor ones, I had made my points and made it clear that what everybody had to do. And everybody left the meeting to go down to practice, very serious, very stoic. And one person stayed in the room and came up to me to talk to me. And it was Andretta. And she said, "Coach, I just want to say something." She said, "You don't have anything to worry about. It is the other teams that have to worry." And that just, stayed with me. It just, no one had ever said that to me before. And I thought, wow, that's, if everybody else feels that way, I guess I should feel really good about what's going to happen this weekend. And I don't remember how many points we won by, but we did win, and I think it was a pretty comfortable margin, so I guess she was right. And then her senior year, just incredible. We talked a lot in our program about quiet confidence, and she always displayed this. And also, just every coach can relate to the athlete and have just great admiration for that athlete that comes up with that big performance at that special time when everything's on the line. And she did that her senior year. She was, to have someone come out of nowhere to win a national title. Nobody did that in our program like she did. She was maybe a 5th or 6th seed and made All-American, in the indoor meet, but still, to go from that to winning a national title like she did, to come up with that big performance when she needed it to do that tremendous thing. It's not easy to do, and it was just one of those memorable times watching the event, seeing everything unfold, seeing her demeanor and how she handled herself, and just came through with that big performance when it counted. That's what I'll always remember about Andretta, and that's why she is a Hall of Famer. And I congratulate her on becoming a Hall of Famer for St. Thomas. Congratulations, Andretta.
Wow. Hello, everybody. I've never been inducted into the Hall of Fame before, so this is it still hasn't sunk in as yet, but I'm pretty sure later on it will. All right, so Master of Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and honorees, thank you all for being here. First of all, thank you so much for this award. I am truly blessed and honored to be placed in such a distinguished rank. Some very special thank yous I'd like to send out to some people here that they have been with me through the entire journey. First of all, I'd like to say a very special thank you to my mom, Chrisma. She's right here. She was born on Christmas Day. That's why her name is Chrisma. My husband, Brad, right here. One of my 3 kids, Devondre. St. Thomas, look out for him. He's a future athletic star. He just turned 15 and he's already 6'3", so wink, wink. Also, I have some really special close friends and family members here that I would really, really sincerely love to recognize. Michelle LeBlanc, she brought me here to Minnesota. She never told me about the cold. I got here in the summer and I thought it was all well until somewhere around maybe August, late August. Then I knew she was, lying to me, but I still love her. Michelle LeBlanc, thank you so much. Her husband, John LeBlanc, thank you. The Browns, Mama Eva, Rachel, Bobby, and Lavon, thank you guys so much. I got a lot of love for you all. Thank you so much. Last but not least, my very special friends that are here. They were also teammates with me here on the St. Thomas team. Jada, Selena, KG, and Shayna. Woo! Also, I'm not going to forget my coach, Megan Hanson. She was my coach here at St. Thomas, my long jump coach. We actually both teach at BSM now, and she was a past Hall of Fame also, 2019. So Megan, thank you so much. She forced me into being a triple jump, and I got a national championship from it, but I still get her about that because I'm always trying to avoid her, and she totally forced me into it. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming here to support me. I love you all. May God continue to bestow his blessings on you, and much love. Thank you to the St. Thomas committee, and thank you, Coach Sweeney. We go back. We go way, way back. So thank you so much. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. I love you. Mwah.
I wish I had a cool accent. If you guys tune in the game tomorrow and you hear me sounding a little different, you know why. I went home and practiced. Our next athlete this evening represents Tommie football. Tony Danna, class of 2011. Head football coach Glenn Caruso joins Tony to present the award. Come on up, guys. Tony was named first-team All-American by D3Football.com and West Region Defensive Player of the Year as a senior in 2011 after he recorded 19 tackles for loss in 14 games as an inside linebacker. He helped the 2011 team reach the national semifinals and break the school record with 13 wins. Tony also helped the 2010 team reach the national quarterfinals. His final 2 teams posted a 25-2 record, including 2 victories over St. John's. That ended a 12-game losing streak in the series and notched the Toms' first win in Collegeville since 1986. Tony's career spanned from 2007 to 2011 due to a 2009 season-ending injury. But over his 48-game career, he recorded 203 solo tackles, 169 assisted tackles, 15 sacks, 12 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 3 block kicks, 2 fumble recoveries, He did a lot. He did a lot. He was also a two-time member of the All-MIAC team. His defensive coordinator, Wally Kuczynski, called him the most complete player he's ever coached. Please join me in congratulating Tony on his induction to the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
Absolute blessing to spend a few minutes with you tonight, but there's one person there's always someone who makes things go, and he or she does not always get recognized, but even though she's not here, I think she ran to the ladies' room. Anne-Marie Grundhauser does an unreal job putting this all together, so please give her a hand. So I'll be as brief as I possibly can. I'll start it with a couple hundred years ago, which is true. Someone gave Sir Isaac Newton a compliment, and they said, hey, you're doing a really good job with the stuff you're doing. Like he, figured out gravity. And he said, if I've seen further than others, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. And when I hear our kids today get a compliment, they always say, it's because I've had a chance to stand on the shoulders of giants, right? And Tony is absolutely one of those foundational giants that our program stands on right now. In a day and an age where college football was all the more devoted to style over substance, his grit, his toughness, his thoughtfulness, his selflessness was unparalleled. And when I think about where we are now, we would not be there unless it was for people like Tony Danna. And 10 years ago in the same room, the first event, right over there, same stage, just right over there, Tony's senior year, Coach Wally Kuczynski said to him the same thing that I'll say to him tonight. We love you, we're proud of you, and we're grateful to be able to watch all of the goodness that you have coming ahead of you. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest inductee to the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame, Tony Danna.
Okay, I will be the definition of short and sweet on this, but I can't thank the coaches enough, Coach Crusoe, Coach Kuczynski, and Coach Halenka, who's now the defense coordinator up at University of North Dakota. What you guys did for us as players is not only instill confidence in us to perform athletically, but you instill confidence in us to have success the rest of our lives. And I am a true believer in what you guys instilled in us. I am still living every single day. So thank you guys for that. I'd be completely remiss if I did not thank my teammates. Football is the most complete team sport out there, and the position I played, there's 5 guys in front of me that are blocking. They're taking up the blocks and allowing me to go make plays. So, from Danny Kane to Blake Bricks to Iowa Dew, to Riley Dombeck to Willie Barigi, Harry Patera, Tremaine Williams. I mean, those are the guys that really did all the work, and I had the easy job, just go make the tackles. So thank you to those guys. Thank you to my parents, my family, giving me every chance to succeed and go to an amazing school like the University of St. Thomas. So thank you for that. Last thing I'll leave it with is kind of thinking back once I learned I had to give a speech. That was scary enough, but started thinking about things and, driving to football practices, hockey practices. One thing my dad, he was great at, throwing things in my ears all the time. And one thing that stood out was he kept saying, the definition of success, Tony, is constant, never-ending improvement. Looking at our 5 years my 5 years at St. Thomas, we succeeded as a football team, and I was fortunate enough to have a little bit of success as well as a player. So thank you, everyone. I love this university.
Tony, come back. Where are you? Tony, you sat down way too fast. They want your picture right in the middle of the stage, and now we have to do this all over again. Come on. Tony Danna, ladies and gentlemen. Only one standing ovation, though. That's the limit. Has anybody ever sung to you the tune of Tiny Dancer, Your Name, Tony Danna? They should. There's some people at that table who could do it. Yeah. Glenn, I'm looking at you. I think you would do a great job of singing that. Okay, please welcome to the stage men's basketball player Tommie Hannon, class of 2011. Men's basketball head coach Johnny Tower, Hall of Fame class of 2016, will present the award.
All right, thank you all. It's truly an honor to present this to Tommie tonight. His resume, if you look at where he finished at St. Thomas, you see his record, I think it was 90-11 on the varsity, national champion, All-American, and the list of accolades really could go on and on. I think probably more impressive and more interesting is how do these guys' stories start, right? And Tommie had a unique one. I first met him in 2000. He was a fourth grader. He was not a very good basketball player at camp. And then I sort of lost track of him, and I was at a game in 2007 at St. Thomas Academy. Cretin was playing St. Thomas, and I got there early as a sellout, and the JV's playing. And I see this tall, skinny guy go running down the floor and dunk. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Who is that? And I look at the program, and I'm like, well, that's little Tommie Hannon. He's growing up. He's a lot bigger. We should get him on a recruiting list. I'm about to text Coach Fritz, and then I see 12th grade next to it. I'm like, wait a second. That's not so good if you're a senior playing on the junior varsity, right? And so I do a little recon, and I find out as a junior he had gotten cut from the JV. He didn't have a uniform, which anybody in here knows the nicest kid on the JV is there because they're a nice kid, and Tommie wasn't obviously as good as that kid even as a junior. And so, joking aside, you think about our society and how often we want things immediately, right? Immediate gratification. And Tommie's parents, Jim and Sue, when you talk to them, what'd you say to Tommie when he was a junior and he got cut? Not from the varsity, but from the JV. And they said, well, you better work harder. They didn't give him any sugar-coated message. They said, you got to get better, and are you willing to commit to this? And so he came back and was humble enough as a senior in high school to play on a JV with sophomores and juniors. And then he came here at St. Thomas, and he made the JV as a freshman. He's like, wow, this is cool. This took me 4 years at Cretin to do this. And as a sophomore, Coach Fritz and I could tell, like he went from like 6th best post to 5th to 4th to 3rd. By the end of his sophomore year, he was playing as many minutes as anyone. And his junior year, he's the starting center on a national championship team and named all Final Four in 4 years. And I used to always joke this would be a Disney movie. It was Division I. And we're now a Division I school, so if there's any Disney producers out there, this might be appropriate. But I'll leave you with this. So he wins the national title, and his knee's in terrible shape his senior year. And this tells you a little bit about Tommie's competitive mindset. I would see him out on the track every day running the football stadium stairs, and his knee is like bone on bone, and the doctors are like, rest for 3 months. And I'm like, Tommie, what are you doing? He's like, I just need to toughen it up for the season. Now, that's not the smartest thing to do, but it tells you about Tommie. He ended up having to sit out that year, but came back the next season, led us to a Final Four, was All-American, and probably more than anything, the heart and soul of our program. He was never the most talented, but he was as tough and as great a teammate as anybody we've ever had, and I'm absolutely thrilled that he gets this honor today. Tommie Hannon.
First, I want to thank Dr. Eston, Anne Marie, the Hall of Fame committee, and everyone that put on this event. It was definitely a surprising honor to get the news, and it's been fun the last few weeks, just reminiscing with teammates, alumni, seeing everyone that we haven't seen in years. Paige Bremeyer, who was an All-American volleyball player, getting inducted tonight. She was just a friend when we graduated, and now she's my sister-in-law. So. I want to thank my parents, Jim and Sue, for all the support throughout the years. As Coach Towers said, from 2008 to 2019, me, Kevin, and Michael were all, on the team each year. And I think there was one game in Concordia Moorhead during a blizzard that they missed. So through the ups and downs and good games, bad games, it's nice just having a support staff there. And then, like echoing what Tony said, I was fortunate to be here during good years. I think it can be cliche to say that, everyone, all my teammates helped me out a lot, but as, Coach Tower said, I didn't have many expectations coming in. One of my best friends from high school, who's here tonight, called me my first year and was just shocked that I made the team. Not that I scored a point, just shocked. Could not believe it. When they asked for, my two coaches both stood up when they said, for the current Hall of Famers to stand up. So, Coach Fritz, thank you for the culture and tradition you started, and Coach Tower, thanks for everything you do. You believed in me more than I believe in myself, and really was fortunate to play with great players. I'll close with the two best players I've ever played with, John Nance and Tyler Nikolai. We're here for all 90 of those games that I won. So thank you guys. You guys wouldn't be standing up here if it wasn't for you. So thank you all very much.
Tommie, come back. So I had lots of good things to say about you, but Coach Tower took them all. Stole my speech. Mike Hutton, class of 2012, track and field, men's soccer is our next honoree. Mike? Coach Joe Sweeney, representing the men's track and field, as Coach Wareham is in Grand Forks for the Summit League Championships. Mike Hutton was a two-sport athlete and a five-time All-American, including NCAA indoor champion at 800 meters and NCAA outdoor runner-up at 800 meters. Mike still ranks in the top 10 all-time on the NCAA D3 performance list at both indoor 800 meters and outdoor 800 meters. He broke 4 school track and field records and is a rare 4-time All-MIAC honoree in men's soccer, finishing with 35 goals and 86 points in his 4-year career. He is a 6-time MIAC Athlete of the Week in soccer, indoor, and outdoor track. Mike helped the Tommies win 7 conference titles indoors and outdoors in his career. He was voted Outstanding Men's Track Athlete of 2 MIAC Indoor Championship meets and 1 MIAC Outdoor Championship meet. In 2012, Mike also swept the Central Region Track Athlete of the Year for the indoor and outdoor season. He is a 9-time MIAC champion as an individual or relay member. Please join me in congratulating Mike on his induction into the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
So I coached the women for 42 years. I did not coach the men, but I was at a lot of big meets and I watched the men. And I always look for athletes that, as I say, bring the juice. And that's what Mike did. He brought the juice, not just as a competitor, but as a leader. And, I had plenty to do at a championship meet, taking care of all my athletes. And there's like 21 events in a track meet, and you're obviously just getting ready for one right after another, talking to athletes. But all of a sudden, in the middle of a meet, I'd hear, last call, 800-meter run. And whoever I was talking to at that time, I said, I'm sorry, I have to take care of something. And I went to watch Mike run because he always put on a show. And I'd always loved to see him, his pride and his passion, just lay it all out there. And the championships that he won as an individual and as a team and on relays, you just always knew he was going to give it all, and made me so proud to be associated with St. Thomas and whenever I saw him compete. And it's just my privilege to honor him. He meant so much to our program and all the success that he contributed as a soccer player and a track athlete. And when we moved into the new building, there was a mural, and it was there. And when you come in the door, and it's like, wow, there's this mural. But there are maybe about 6, 7 athletes that were in the picture of the mural. But the one that really stood out every time I came in that door was Mike. He had this celebratory look on his face, determination. He just scored a goal in soccer, and it just looking at it, just like, wow, look at that guy. That's inspirational. Just watching that, seeing that guy, he epitomizes everything that St. Thomas Athletics is all about. And it's my privilege to honor him as a Hall of Famer, Mike Hutton.
I gotta say, I hate that photo. It just gives me cringe. You know, a lot of you athletes have photos like that. It makes me cringe. You know, I just want to say a quick thanks to my folks who showed up to every game. My brother who showed up to every game and told me when I wasn't playing well or running fast. He's here tonight. Congratulations to all the athletes tonight. The one group that I'm super envious of is the team that got to be here. If I could have been a part of a team that made it into the Hall of Fame, that would have been super cool. And I think that's super cool for that 2012 volleyball team. Congratulations, Coach Pham. Also, just thank you to everybody who is here supporting our athletes. Everybody is so thankful for you guys, you know, whether it's your family or friends or people flying in from other places. Huge thanks. So that's all I got. Thank you.
You guys need to do a better job of just soaking up the standing ovations. Everybody's so quick off the stage. These don't come every day. Let's welcome women's basketball player Maggie Weiers to the stage. Joining Maggie is women's basketball head coach Ruth Sin, Hall of Fame class of 1992. Maggie played in 120 career games from 2010 to 2015, missing 2012 and 13 with an injury. She collected 1,406 points, 888 rebounds, 172 assists, and 102 blocks. A two-time honorable mention All-American center, an All-West regional, and three-time All-Conference honoree. She finished as the second player in program history to surpass 1,400 points, 875 rebounds, and 100 blocks. In her 4 seasons, Maggie recorded 22 career double-doubles and was part of 108 victories, including 16 in the postseason, and helped the team reach 1 Final Four. Maggie contributed to teams that won 6 of a possible 8 MIAC championships, regular season and playoffs. And as a freshman, Maggie was named MIAC's 6th Player of the Year and NCAA West Region Rookie of the Year. Please join me in congratulating Maggie on her induction into the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
We're all here today because of athletics. The real win in this whole process is the person you become. It's through the self-discovery process that these young ladies and these young men get to discover who they are. As coaches, we get a front row seat to watch these amazing women, to watch these amazing men just develop into these incredible people. Maggie and her teammates were on this journey together. And the women that they've become is inspirational. Tonight, it's so fun to sit and listen to Maggie speak and talk to our table just about her passions and her love. And she's learned that from this athletic experience. And this is the real beauty. Obviously, Maggie has a lot of accomplishments, but it's more than that. It's how she did this. Maggie was very grounded about people and relationships and how you create something special. And that's why her teammates, Kelly and Taylor and Al, they're all here today because it was about their journey together. We had a lot of accomplishments, but what we remember most are the memories. I remember in the conference championship games, watching them and the pure joy they had when they were playing. There's one picture that you see it in Kelly and Taylor and Al, and it's Meg, and I can just see it. And as their coach, that was what I was so proud of, is that they understood that this game can be about something really special because we get to do it together. And so it is my privilege to induct Maggie into the Hall of Fame here at St. Thomas.
I want to say thank you to my coaches and my teammates and my family. Coach Sin and Coach Silk and the basketball community here at St. Thomas is so special. This program is an incubator for smart, strong, and successful women, just as Coach Sin said. The character traits that I find the most valuable and have served me best throughout my adult life have come from playing basketball. Resilience, leadership, confidence, self-determination, and a growth mindset. I could go on and on. My teammates, the strong, smart, and successful women that I mentioned, are also here, and I'm so grateful to have created those lasting relationships through St. Thomas basketball. The chemistry we had on the court was honestly magical, and to this day, the crew love couldn't be stronger. They're my best friends. My family, of course, has always been my #1 support system. My mom and dad worked so hard to teach us the value of a good education and modeled that hard work pays off every day on our family farm. My dad is the hardest working person you'll ever meet. My mom didn't miss a single game of mine in 20 years, and I could always count on my dad for a Snicker bar at halftime. Of course, my sister, who is an honorary member of our crew, and my husband and my son, Ozzy, who's here today. Thank you to everyone. I wouldn't be the person I am today without all of you.
Does your dad have a Snickers bar right now? Oh, that's okay. It's fine. How's my dessert doing over there? It's good? Okay. I think we'll be okay. Thanks. Okay. Our last individual honoree this evening is Nick Wohlers. Presenting the award is retired men's hockey coach Terry Skrypek, Hall of Fame class of 2001. Nick was named a first-team All-American defenseman as a senior after putting together a monster season when he scored 3 hat tricks as a defenseman and helped the team reach 20 wins. He played 4 seasons at St. Thomas and helped the team win all 4 MIAC regular season crowns and make 1 NCAA playoff. He is still in the program record books for most goals with 25, assists with 34, and points with 59. That is by a defenseman in 1 season, and that was in the 91-92 season. And most defenseman goals in a career with 37. He contributed 90-plus career points. Post-St. Thomas, he played pro hockey in the AHL with the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. Please join me in congratulating Nick on his induction into the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, after hearing all that, you can see why Nick is who he is. He was a phenomenal hockey player. It's like, every year as a coach, you look for someone that's going to lead in the locker room. Well, one of the things he did is when he got in the locker room, that was his domain. Even as a freshman, he could see that he was going to be something special. And then, the rap against him when he first came in was, Wohlers, he can't skate. He looks slow out there. He looks slow. Well, he proved that wrong. He went to do extra work during the summer as a junior. He completely redid himself. He came back his senior year. He was the highest scoring defenseman in collegiate hockey. Can you imagine that? 59 points. And a little story about him. Glenn Sonmore used to come to watch our practices. And he came to our practice, and most of you know who Glenn Sonmore was. And he says, I hear a lot about this Wohlers kid. He said, it's okay if I come and watch him practice. I want to see how he practices. So sure enough, Glenn shows up. He's in the stands at the old Coliseum. We call it the Mausoleum. But anyway, that's where we were. And he was watching him, and he's pretty impressed. And he says, I'm really kind of impressed here. He said, but I don't know what the hell you're doing out there. What kind of drills are those anyway? So anyway, I said, well, it's just drills that we do. So he asked if he'd be all right. We won 4 MIC championships with Nick. And Nick's domain, like I said, was a locker room. And if we were ever in trouble, he'd always say to me, don't worry about it, Coach. We'll be all right. We're going to be all right. It's going to happen. Don't worry. And more often than not, he was right on, because his leadership was always there. Besides that, I think he had the respect of all of his teammates. Whenever Nick said something, people listened. and the guys in the locker room listen. I think that's leadership is a big thing, as we know, as coaches know, that when you get a gem like that that can go in there and his domain's that locker room, it makes a big, big difference. So anyway, Glenn asked if we got to the NCAAs and we're going down to play Stevens Point. And they had won 2 national championships in a row, and we faced them, and we missed going to the national tournament by 1 goal. In those days, we beat them the first night 4-2. Second night, we lost 2-1. Then they had what they called a mini game. Mini game's a 10-minute game. You know, you play for 10 minutes and that's it. Well, they hit the pipe and the puck went in the net, and that was it. We lost 1-0, and they walked through the national tournament. They walked through the thing. So I had Mark Mazzolini, who was a coach at Point then. He came back to me and said, you know what? He said, your team was the best team that we played all year long. And I credit this guy right here because he set the tone for us. He scored 2 goals that weekend, and he was just a dominant player on the ice and just led by example. So with Nick, he was always win, and besides that, he's a great human being. He's currently, I know this, he's very involved in the Stillwater Hockey Association. He's coached girls, he's coached boys, he's coached different levels. He's trying to spread his great knowledge that he has after being in the Toronto organization that he has to the kids, to pass it on to them. And one thing that's positive about him, he likes to teach. He enjoys, he's not a screamer or yeller, but he's just a good guy that believes in teaching the kids how to play the right way. So without further ado, I'm honored to honor Nick Wohlers in the Hall of Fame.
I have to get my readers on. It dates me a little bit, and a lot of people ask what took so long, Phil. So we've talked about it. This is very humbling. First, thank you to Dr. Phil Eston and the nominating committee and all those involved with putting this together. This is really special. And a special thank you to Anne Marie, wherever you are. You do an amazing job. Next, congratulations to all the other 2022 inductees and previous Hall of Famers. Your achievements are unbelievable, and it is an honor to be inducted alongside of all of you. St. Thomas has made an indelible impact on my life from the first days walking out the doors at Loris Hall. I remember, do I cut through the parking lot underneath the athletic building, or do I walk down Summit and go through the arches? Most times it was the parking lot, which is actually right here. I was usually late for a 7:20 class. I always had 7:20 class because hockey was at 2:30 over at the Coliseum. Sometimes I chose Summit. It was never lost on me walking through those arches. What a special place this is. I also, as stated, an indelible impact. I also met my wife of 27 years, right over at O'Shaughnessy. And if anybody remembers or knows me from them, well, I spent an inordinate amount of time in the library my senior year. She's right there. Thank you. I can't say enough. Have to say thank you to my mom and my dad. I think he would think this is pretty cool. My sisters, Polly and Mandy, wherever you are, they were at most games. And of course, it's to no surprise they're here tonight to support me. My 2 beautiful daughters, McKenna, now a teacher herself, and Morgan, who's at at Norbert's tonight. She's playing in a game of her own. To my coaches, Terry Skrypek and Jeff Besser, affectionately known as Skry and Duke. Their passion and knowledge of hockey is quite literally amazing. Under their leadership, I became a pretty good hockey player, but I became a better person. Sorry. They led by example on and off the ice every day. Thank you. And last but not least, my teammates, trainers, and managers. Without them, none of this is possible. You cannot receive an accolade like this if you're not surrounded by great athletes, but even more important, great people. I was lucky to have so many great ones over my career here, and a huge thank you to all of them. I'm proud to have been a small part of 120 years of athletic excellence. And now looking forward to St. Thomas creating a new legacy at the D1 level. I would say by the early start, the early trend, we're in a pretty good spot. Congratulations, you're doing an amazing job. St. Thomas is an amazing place. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of it. Thank you.
We have now reached the team portion of our program tonight. We'd like to honor the 2012 volleyball team. Presenting the team award this evening is University of St. Thomas Vice President and Director of Athletics Phil Eston. We'll ask Coach Fahm to come up front and center to accept the award on behalf of the team. Tommie Volleyball broke through in 2012 and became the first conference school and second Minnesota university to claim a national team championship. Coach Sang Phom's Tommies capped a 40-1 season as they captured a thrilling match against Calvin College. The Toms rallied from a 2-0 deficit to win 3-2 over Calvin and rule over 400-plus D3 teams. The Toms became the first conference team to complete a 14-0 run against league opponents, first to sweep the MIAC regular season and playoffs, plus the NCAA region and national championships, first to reach 40 wins, and first to close the season with a 35-match winning streak. 6 team members received all-conference recognition. Kia Johnson made MIAC all-sportsmanship list. Katie Wachter, Paige Hannon, Jill Greenfield-Reed, and Kelly Foley-Brand made MIAC all-conference. Kelly Foley-Brand was named MIAC Player of the Year. Coach Fahm was recognized as the MIAC Coach of the Year as he guided the Tommies to the program's 6th consecutive conference title and 8th in 10 seasons. The Toms were also recognized nationally with 2 All-Americans. They're going to make me say your name again. I messed it up, and so now I have to say it again. Bremeyer, Hannon, and Foley-Brand. And the 8-team national playoff finals. The Tommies had 3 all-tournament selections in Wachter, Atkinson, and Greenfield-Reed. And Greenfield-Reed was named Most Outstanding Player of the national finals. Kia Johnson received the NCAA Elite 89 award for having the highest grade point average among 120 student athletes competing in the championships. And Fahm was named NCAA Region Coach of the Year. Please join me in congratulating the 2012 volleyball team on their induction to the St. Thomas Athletic Hall of Fame.
Nick, these are for you. So it's my pleasure to say a few words on behalf of the Department of Athletics in recognition of the 2012 team. First I want to say this is the second of only 2 full teams to be inducted into our Hall of Fame at all in our first women's team, and so that's a pretty special accomplishment for this group of young women. And of the 24 members and 5 coaches, 17 of them have traveled here tonight, I think, to spend some time together and recognize one another for the great accomplishment. And I think I've got a couple of quotes that I want to share that probably sum up this experience as much as anybody, or as much as anything. We talk a lot about dedication and hard work and perseverance. And the evening of their championship, they beat Calvin, and a gracious Calvin supporter sent an email on Monday to Coach congratulating the Tommies, and he said, "Congratulations to you and your volleyball team for the championship play." Now, mind you, we just beat his team. While I walked out of the field house on Saturday night, stunned and sad for our girls, I reflected on the amazing resilience shown by your team. I had to believe that it took them just 2 sets to get past the overwhelming home crowd to start playing their own game. I heard the coach gently telling them to keep their composure and they would be all right, and they sure were. And then that evening, senior Kia Johnson said after the title match, "We did it for so many people," she explained. "There were so many players ahead of us that worked their tails off to help us realize that we can really do this and that we can win a national championship. It's so amazing to look at all the hard work we put in the off season and in the regular season, how much trust we have in each other. We always were able to find a way, and tonight we found a way." Congratulations to the 2012 volleyball team for their induction into the Tommie Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Phil, for the kind introduction and words, and congratulations to all the other inductees. On behalf of the 2012 team, we'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this prestigious award, and Anne-Marie for all the work that she did to put this together. Also, special thanks to Sarah Atkinson for the special flower arrangements that you have at your table. For me, it's just great to see so many of you back here on campus. It's hard to believe that it's been 10 years since that magical season. So many fond memories and lifelong friendships and life-changing events have happened since. I'm so proud of the young women that have turned to be spouses, mothers, professionals, and just overall great human beings. What I remember and appreciate most about the 2012 team is not only their grit and determination, but their genuine love for each other. I just want to say that the legacy that they left behind is being passed on as we grow and continue our program and take on new challenges. Again, on behalf of the 2012 team, we'd like to thank Steve Fritz, our timekeeper, and Joanne Andreg, our scorekeeper, who were also our ADs at the time, for their continuous support. We'd like to also thank our friends and families for their sacrifices to make our dreams a reality. And to the team, I'd like to thank you for proving that through hard work and faith, you can accomplish greatness. I will always cherish the time and effort and memories that that season brought, and that made the best days of your life still be in front of you. Roll Toms.
Okay, go by Anne-Marie.
Congratulations, and with that, I'd like to welcome Phil Eston back up to the stage.
I just asked Corbu if I was next, and he said he didn't know, so I sat down. You know, I want you to know, as soon as we sat down after my first remarks, Father Larry Blake put his purple shoes on. And he's wearing his credentials, so he's good for the night, if anybody's wondering. You know, what strikes me as much as anything tonight is hearing the passion and the emotion and the gratitude from so many people, for so many people that did things for them. I also admire the hairstyles that we've seen throughout the night from our past pictures. A couple of them I had myself. You know, it's my responsibility to thank a few people. First, I want to thank Corbu. Let's give Corbu a round of applause for tonight. Spent a lot of time with Corbu as we travel, and he really has become a true Tommie, so I appreciate Corbu you being here tonight. I also want to congratulate not just our Hall of Fame inductees tonight, but thank those who came back to help celebrate those that have been inducted tonight. So once again, help me thank those that have been inducted already and for those that inducted tonight. Of course, a lot of people put in a lot of work, and you've heard a few say thank you to those tonight. And you know, it's dangerous for me to list everybody, and so I won't. But the selection committee spent a lot of time poring over nominations. Thank you for nominations. We need them. Took a lot of time poring over nominations. Our creative staff took a lot of time putting together what you've seen tonight. Of course, our dining services and serving us tonight. Fantastic. There are two individuals that I want to call out especially. Anne-Marie Grunhauser and Nancy Swanholm, please, wherever you are, right over here, will you please wave? Thank you, she waved. These things don't happen by accident, and I can't tell you how much time and energy and passion they put into this night for you so that you could have a special evening with your families and your friends. We talk a lot about the power of our proud past and how it informs what I believe is an extremely bright future. You've heard some people talk about it tonight, and we know, and you've heard some people refer to this too, we know that any success we enjoy today is because of the commitment from so many who've come before us. And I can't say anything other than thank you for those of you that have set the example for what it means to be a true Tommie. This is what sets the standard for Tommies to come. We've talked about a couple themes with our student athletes this year. The first is gratitude, and how gratitude isn't just feeling gratitude, but it's expressing that thankfulness. And how can we do better? I know I can do better. I'm asking our students to come along with me to do better when we feel thankful about something, to express that. And so tonight, for us, it's my expression, my thankfulness, that turns into gratitude for everything that you've done for St. Thomas. And the other theme is embrace the hard. You know, we talk a lot about how we need to persevere and how we need to be resilient. And we've heard some people talk about how if we can just do hard better than other people can do hard, you learn what you're capable of. You can accomplish more than you think you can accomplish, right? It's supposed to be hard. Ultimately, it's supposed to be hard. And if we can lean into the hard together and do that with a sense of gratitude, we can accomplish more as teams and as individuals than we ever thought that we were capable. You all, our inductees tonight, set the example on how to embrace the hard. And so I'm grateful that you set those examples for our student athletes today. You know, if you look at our athletics department, a lot has changed. That's true. A lot has changed in the last couple of years. But I can tell you that the traditions and the principles that have been set by those coaches and student athletes and administrators, Steve Fritz is with us here tonight, that have come before us is the same. What hasn't changed is our core purpose, and that's creating conditions for success so that our student athletes can have a positive, meaningful experience and enjoy the pursuit of comprehensive excellence. That's why we do what we do every single day. I got to tell you, you've all made us proud to wear purple, right? As an alum, as a former student athlete, I'm proud every single day, not just for what we do on the field and in the classroom and in our competitive venues today, but for those that have done everything before us, and you've shown us how to do it the right way. That'll set the standard for generations to come. So thank you so much. Roll Toms.
Actually, Phil, if you could come back up. No, I'm just kidding. We would like to also acknowledge Sarah Atkinson for the centerpieces. Just a few reminders before we let you go. Award recipients, if you would, please gather outside of the entry so we can get photos with your awards. Do we still want to do that even though we got them up here? Yes. Also, if you want to get your credentials for tomorrow, you can just follow Father in if you want, or you can get your own credentials. Also, if you are the person in the poster, you can take that poster. If you are not the person in the poster, do not take the poster. Again, a huge thank you to everyone who came out to honor our athletes tonight and celebrate their accomplishments. Thank you so much for being out here tonight. Good night, everybody. Roll Toms.